arrogance, stubbornness, and hastiness. Got it. Okay. So those are the three items: arrogance, stubbornness, and hastiness for the three cons of objective. For this video, I'm still gonna probably edit it together. Obviously, just gonna not have to anyways. But maybe for the three items, I could go to different rooms one more time. But for now, yeah, we'll just go. We'll do this one step at a time. We don't have too many rooms to do this in. But for number one, let's go in here. Okay. Arrogance. There's a family word. Do you know how to not be a cocky asshole who thinks he has all the answers, brainiac or not? Do you know how to not be that kind of person who's maybe a little too confident in what they know and doesn't have to confirm it completely, but even when you can be proven to be right, you still don't have to be that jerk to people. Not necessarily, at least, not in my opinion. But not in my town. You really need to consider, like, and I can say this as a weird aside, but some of the best philosophies can be even atheism. And in some ways, atheism can be lazy, but it's also a good philosophy for people who really want to flex their minds. But if you're not flexible at all, if you're not able to change your mind about things that you can be guaranteed to be right about, and you can still use that to your advantage, take it for granted, be careful with it, because literally things that you can prove, like, doesn't matter how scary it is, doesn't matter how awkward it is for you to have that much potential, it's worth being careful and at least some degree. It doesn't have to be all the time, but you get to balance and measure on your own terms. Either you're full throttle or 0% on some others. But you can easily be a selfish asshole with the things you can prove objectively. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter. Just be brave if you can, but don't be an asshole. So, the next thing we got is the second con of objectiveness is stubbornness. I think it was it arrogance, stubbornness, and hastiness? Yeah, okay. So stubbornness. We're gonna talk about stubbornness. Do you notice how when people know what they have and what they want, they don't change? They don't fucking change. You could literally like be a 10 out of 10 like handsome person. If I'm playing myself, you could literally be like a healthy athlete who assumes they didn't know how to exercise anymore. Like, you know how silly that could be, how asinine that could be, to be healthy and physically and mentally, and not improve your mental and physical capacity anymore because you think you're good, as if that's possible to be in stasis. Which stasis is an illusion. You always have to improve. You can if losing your gains is possible, which it technically is. You can lose your muscle gains. You can lose your mental capacity over time. Depends on how that works. But the whole point is not stop improving. Once you stop improving, you're done. You need to keep improving. It doesn't mean you can't live in the moment. Just make sure you keep improving. Don't be stubborn and assume that you have enough things going on approximately right that you don't have to change something about that. Same with the arrogance. Don't be stubborn, please. And the last one, I don't have to leave the room for this one. I'll just have to edit the video. But hastiness. The idea of the sense of urgency isn't so much. I'll leave the room for this one. The sense of urgency is supposed to be a good thing. You don't tell people have a sense of urgency because you don't have a choice. You tell them sense of urgency because if they're not time sensitive about certain things, whether they're desperate or not, whether it's good for opportunities and luck or not. Opportunities and luck. Cyrus. That's a teacher JS26 maybe. Because that was the Greek god of opportunity and luck. Spelled differently sometimes. Opportunity doesn't have to be fleeting like a Carolina stick, but it doesn't have to be that bad either. It doesn't have to be like that. But people who truly understand how to make the most of their time and know that it's a limited resource, they don't have to be hard on themselves just because they missed opportunity. Usually, and not just situations where two doors lead to the same room, you can also find opportunities in things that seem like failures. But beyond that, whether you do anything for a reason or not, like me, you don't have to be the kind of person who treats sense of urgency like a curse. It's not supposed to be a bad thing. Like, even like entropy, like with things that take more effort to build than destroy. Entropy, even if entropy exists, you don't have to be hard on yourself about the things that you worked hard for and lost all of a sudden, or blame yourself for losing and act like, oh, I'm not going to lose all this thing I worked hard for, even on purpose, on accident. And I was a big debunker of entropy for some reason or another. But the sense of urgency isn't so bad for that. So with hastiness, you're not telling yourself, do I know how to not be in a hurry all the time? Do I want to panic all the time? Or do I want to be at peace and calm and just relax and take my time. Maybe not too much of your time, but just enough where you're not just. You can be calm and collected even in an urgent matter. You don't have to be hard on yourself for any of that shit. You really don't. If anything was gonna take that much time to do or too little time, it wouldn't belong to you. The universe is not an idiot. It doesn't make you somebody who will miss an opportunity just because you were unlucky or some shit. Opportunities come and go according to what you expect, not necessarily what you deserve, or even at all. So I think I can make this work without an edit. I just mentioned the 3 items again this clip, so I probably don't have to use the other clip. But if you need clarification without needing to edit this video, I can just tell you the 3 items for objective cons were arrogance, stubbornness, and hastiness. Arrogance, stubbornness, and hastiness for the objective cons. Thank you very much. Bye. For the end of the series, we'll make one more video maybe for a plus of 4, fifth video, 4 clips videos for this Curse Saga series. But if we don't, this should be the end. That's just a bonus content at the point, epilogue. We'll do maybe something expanding to other things, why subjective versus objective is important, and including talks about the hiding in private video that was enlisted, because he does it on his Patreon in case he wants to tell people what that is. It's enlisted, so you can find it anyways if you have the link, but if you don't, just don't worry about it. I'm not going to share everything just yet until I need to, but until it's absolutely necessary. But until then, I will continue watching that video on my own time, because I finally finished watching it after a year or two. Damn it, it's only like 30 minutes. But yeah. Okay, take care, guys. The full lingo as far as 4 videos is concerned for the Cursor Saga. This whole Cursor Saga is technically complete. The subjective versus objective debate for my 4 YouTube alts. Subjective pros, subjective cons, objective pros, objective cons. Or I mean, it was the order I used for all 4 channels was Auto Crosswind, which is now for a different channel name. Auto Crosswind, Deersting Skill, Gold Spinner, March Scruff, which would now be Serious 26. So my Wired LC was the Auto Crosswind now, this now. And then Toei Cash, of course, is the new one. Those 4 YouTube channels had split up in random order: subjective pros, objective pros, subjective cons, objective cons. So if you look at any of these 4 channels, I'll link them if I can. I didn't mention them a lot before. I made it really confusing to tell where they were, because I wanted to experiment with all 4 channels with consistency and with experimentation. But you'll know what I mean by the reasoning why I split the energy of these things, and why I multitasked this the way I did, multifaceted wise. If you know that I don't have to overcomplicate or oversimplify subjective versus objective, the way those can be easily misunderstood, not just the way Hiding in Private did, then you'll know why I did this. Why I make videos like this. I don't do it to be weird. I do it because I know that talking about it in some form or another helps. You lose all the shots you don't take. And if I was to never make this kind of Cursor Saga playlist or mini-series of videos, I would never know if this was not going to be worth it. Until even it would be an impermeating curse of a regrettable mistake, and what have you, always compounded in modest ways upside. Yeah, bye.